I was thinking about the siyum that we just had. Rav Moshe Rafal Levin made a siyum in honor of his dear father who was nifter 6 years ago. So I don't know if he remembers very clearly, but we are pretty close, about 2 weeks away from our 6th anniversary of this shir.
Wow.
So Rav Moshe Rafal had just gotten up from Shiva, and he was looking for some sort of nechama, and we found each other. I want to say a little bit about nechama. Liuli Nishmas, Rav Moshe Rafal's father. What was his name?
It was Aryaleb Ben Moshe.
Ben Moshe. So we call these weeks, the weeks after Tisha B'Av until Rosh Hashanah, they have a name. They're called the Shiva Dinachemta. We had the Gimel de Paranusa, the 3 weeks where we read the Haftorah of Paranus, of the prophecy of the destruction of Jerusalem. And now we have the Zayin Dinachemta, which means the 7 Haftorahs that speak to us and console us and tell us that there is yet going to be a day where Jerusalem is going to be rebuilt and Mashiach Tzidkenu is going to come.
Amen.
What is nechama? What does that mean? Do you ever wonder, what does the word mean? Consolation. Consolation.
Comfort?
Comfort.
Oh.
Anybody who has known a special relative that has lost that person, Rachmana litzlan, knows that nechama can't be replacement. You can't have now again what you had previously. A nechama doesn't mean that I'm consoled because I have what I had. That's not what nechama is. Rather, what nechama is to be comforted that there will be yet a day in the future where I will have again what I have. But it doesn't mean that I have that right now. It's a turn of, it's a mindset change. It doesn't necessarily mean that anything actually changed. It's a comfort. It's a knowledge. The pasuk says, "Vayinochem Yitzchak acharei imoy." When Eliezer Eved Avram brought Rivka back to Yitzchak as a wife, he didn't know her. He didn't know her. And yet, as soon as he brought her into the tent, it says, "Vayinochem Yitzchak acharei imoy." He was consoled after his mother. So the Medrash explains, what do you mean? I mean, he was consoled. He had a great mother, Sarah Imenu, the Tzadikes, the woman of the generation that everybody looked up to, the great mother that raised him, the one that he loved. And now a stranger, Rivka, comes, and he's going to take her as a wife, as they did then, and as some still have the tradition today. You marry without knowing the woman all that much. And he was consoled. So the Medrash is bothered by this. And the Medrash says, Rashi brings it down, it's well known, Shekol zman shesora kayemes hayaner doluk me'erev Shabbos le'erev Shabbos. So as long as Sarah Imenu was alive, there was a candle lit in her tent from Friday to Friday. Ubaracha mitzuya bi'isa. And there was always fresh bread. Baracha mitzuya bi'isa. The bread never became spoiled. moldy or stale. Va'anan kasher al ha'oihel, and there was always a cloud on the tent, a protective cloud. Umishemesa Sarah Pascha, when Sarah died, all those things stopped. Umishe ba'a Rivka chazru, but when Rivka came, as soon as she came, chazru. Sarah didn't come back to Yitzchak. Rather, Yitzchak saw now that there is a future. All of that which Sarah represented had potential to come back. Had potential to come back. But that's only because Rivka was also Zoicha to have these three brachas. And why? Because of her maisim. Because she followed in the path of Sarah Imenu. She was also a tzaddikas. And it's a great responsibility. When we celebrate a yortzeit in memory of a loved one, of a relative, so we look for a nechama. We remember what that person meant to us and all their great qualities. And I didn't know Rav Moshe Rafal's father, but I look at the son, I look at Rav Moshe Rafal, and all we see is Torah, and all we see is Yer Shamayim, and we know that his father was a special person. And it's an achrayus on us, it's a responsibility. Because it's only if we can bring the candle, the cloud, and the special baracha that was found in the dough back. It's only if we can bring that back that provides us with consolation. Because we know that our fathers or our loved ones, hashpah, their influence that they had in their life is projected upon us and will create greatness from us in the future. And that's the consolation that we have. Vayinachem, we're consoled. When Moshe Rabbeinu davened to the Rabbeinu Shalom, he said, Shuv mecharoina pecha, vehinachem al hara'ah liyamecha. It's the wrong word. Be consoled on the ra'ah liyamecha. What it means is turn around. See that there is a future in Klal Yisrael. See that there's potential. Correct. Today they're bad. Today they've sinned. Today they're doing things which you don't want them to do. But there's a future to them. Don't be discouraged from what you see today. Look what you see down in the future. It's going to be a nation of Avodas Hashem, a nation of Yiras Shamayim, a nation that's going to fulfill your mission from them in this world. That is Vayinachem. That's Nechama. That's the Zayin de Nechemta. When we say that we have Nechama on Yerushalayim, and we read these haftarahs that are full of hope. Nachamu, Nachamu, Ami. I mean, we missed last week, but did you read the haftarah? V'atomer Tzion azavani Hashem. And Tzion says, Yerushalayim says, Hashem has lost me. V'Hashem shcheichoni. And Hashem forgot about me. So the Navi says, Hatishkach isha ula. Does a woman forget about her little baby? Can a woman forget about her little baby? Can she forget about Mirachem ben Bidna? Can she not be comforted in the fruit of her beten? Gam eila tishkachachna. Even if that was possible, even if she can forget, V'anoichi lo yashkachech. But I will never forget. These are the words of last week's Haftarah. And I was thinking, it's a very special week to have a baby. Because Hatishkach Isha Ula, a little cute little baby that we were zoichet to have. A little, you see Nisim and it was so beautiful, so cute. Hatishkach Isha Ula. Can we forget about that little baby? You know, you hear these stories about people forgetting them in the car. And, you know, how do you forget about a little?
I have no idea.
How do you forget about a little kid? a little nace that the Rabbi Shalom gives us a gift, beautiful, cute, so moving and crying, and you see the Rabbi Shalom, it's unbelievable. Hatishkach isha ula merachim ben bidna. Gam Eila, the Rabbi Shalom looks at us like those little babies. We are his little babies. Gam Eila tishkachachna. Even if a woman can forget about her little baby, Anoichi lo yashkachech. Hashem never ever forgets. We're comforted and we're consoled that there is a future. There is a Yerushalayim. There is a Beis HaMikdash. The Rabban Shalom will never forget us. And that's our comfort in these days. It has to bring us to tshuva. The Beis Avram from Slonim said it over one time, that last week, again, from last week since I wasn't here, I missed the barbecue. Sorry, Ian.
Another one.
Yeah. Do we have to wait till next year?
Maybe not.
Okay. Have a midwinter barbecue, maybe.
With a hot tub.
V'ata ma Hashem shoyel mi'imach. What does Hashem ask from you? Kiyum liyira. The Beis Avram and Sir Shalom writes from his father, his grandfather.
No, the Beis Abraham was the Rebbe of Nesiv Shalom.
The Rebbe of Nesiv Shalom.
Yeah, one of the last of the Weinbergs to be the Slonim Rebbe's.
Okay.
Passed away in 1933.
So the Beis Avram writes that Ma is Memhe, 45 days. So it's referring to the 45 days between Tu B'Av and Elul. And Rosh Hashanah. Ma, 45. Mem, 40. Hey, 5. Ma Hashem Shalom. During these 45, what do we have to do? During the Zayin Dinachemta, what does the Rabbi Shalom ask from us? Kiyim liyira.
That's right.
To do tshuva. It has to reawaken us to tshuva. It has to reawaken us to tshuva. Not like the temptations out there that just want to go beyond the Tchum. They just want us to go and summertime, right? Party.
Give me more tchum. Right?
Outside the Tchum.
More rope.
We have to start thinking about tshuva. The pasuk in this week's parsha, V'hoya ki yivyacha Hashem Elokecha la'aretz asher v'shama l'rishta, and when you will come into the land, that sherata v'shama l'rishta, which you come to inherit, v'nasata es abracha al har gerizim v'as klala al har eval. I'm going to make a bracha and a klala. I'm going to put a bracha on har gerizim and make a klala, a curse on har eval. It says, where is har gerizim and har eval? Halohema be'var yarden, right after you cross the Yarden. Be'eretz HaKnani, in the land of Canaan. Mul HaGilgal, wherever. Gives like a geographic point to where Har Gerizim and Har Eval. And then the pasuk says, Ki, because Atem oivrim es hayarden lavoy l'reshes haaretz asher Hashem Elokeichem noisen lachem v'yirishtem oisav yishavtem ba. So let's read it again. When you will come to the land which I'm going to give you for an inheritance, I'm going to give you a bracha on Har Gerizim and a klala on Har Eval. Why? Because you're crossing the Yarden to inherit the land. The pasuk doesn't flow. The pasuk doesn't flow. I'm going to give you when you come to the land, I'm going to give you a bracha on Har Gerizim and a klala on Har Eval. Why? Because you're crossing the Yarden in order to inherit the land. I'm not giving you a bracha on Har Gerizim and klala on Har Eval because you're coming to inherit the land. There's something missing from these psukim in the way they read. What's the key? What's the hemshech? Continuation. It doesn't connect. So Rashi is ma'ur the kasha. Rashi asks this question. Doesn't ask the question, just says the answer. Rashi says, Ki atem over mes Yarden. Nisim shel Yarden yiyu simin biyerchem shetavo v'tirshu es haaretz. The nisim, the miracles of the Yarden, will be a simin that you're actually going to conquer and inherit the land. So what Rashi is doing is he's saying that he's breaking up the psukim. He's saying don't read it as you would normally just simply read the psukim. He's saying the key is going on ki atem oiver mes hayarden. Because you're going across the Yarden, you're going to see Nisim when you cross the Yarden. That's how you're going to know that you're going to inherit the land. The key is not going on previous psukim, and has nothing to do with Har Grizim and Har Eval. Rather, the key is explaining the pasuk itself. How do you know, or what's the siman that you're going to inherit the land? Because you're crossing the Yarden and you're going to see Nisim v'neflos, and that's how you'll know. If he's doing Nisim for you now, he's going to do Nisim for you then.
Isn't the Yarden open like the Yam Suf?
Exactly.
So the Yoshua have happened the same as Moshe?
Exactly.
So
That's what
a
Rashi's
miracle,
saying.
yeah.
That's what Rashi's saying.
Yeah.
The Malbim says a different shot. The Malbim says a different shot. The Malbim reads the Pesukim the way that they are simply read in the Pasuk. The Malbim says as follows: Tzrichim at lishmor lasas es kol hachukim. You have to do all of the chukim. You have to do everything Hashem tells you to do. That's number one. Umitam zeh, because you have to do all of the chukim that Hashem tells you to do, you're going to have to make a bracha on Har Grizim and haklola on Har Eval, b'kol ram, right, in public, to establish ladas ki al tanai zeh ata machzik ba'aretz. Because it's only if you do what Hashem wants you to do, and that, right, if you do all the good things, right, then you're going to get all the brachos, amen, whatever we're going to see, the brachos and the kolos, right, in Parshas Kisava we'll see it all. If you do all of that, then you have a schus to yarsh in the land. But if you don't do it, then you have no schus in the land. So you're only crossing the Yarden, you're only going into the land of Eretz Yisrael, bitanai, if, on condition that you have Har Grizim and Har Eval, which represent, if you do the right thing, then you have the land. And if you do the wrong thing, you don't have the land. And that's the proclamation when you come into the land, that you need to proclaim in front of the entire Klal Yisrael. It's Har Grizim and Har Eval. If you do Hashem's Ratzon, you get the land. If you don't do Hashem's Ratzon, you don't get the land. Now let's read the Psukim again. When you come into the land, then you're going to inherit Har Grizim. You're going to put the bracha on Har Grizim. V'esaklolo Har Eval. Ki atem oiver mesayardin l'voy l'reshes haaretz. Because of that, you're coming to cross the Yarden l'voy l'reshes haaretz.
So because of the chira,
Because, in other words, because you're going to do the right thing, that's when you'll be zocha to inherit the land.
So these
in
are
other
consequences of action.
Exactly.
Well, you can't cross the Yarden unless you are even as a merit.
Exactly. And it's not just you can't cross unless you merit it. Unless you do the right thing and continue to do the right thing, right? We're making a proclamation. We're coming in. This is the deal. You continue to do the right thing, you get your land. If you don't, it's Mefurish in Parshas Kisava. Then the land's going to spit you out and throw you out.
Which it did.
Then the land's going to spit you out if you're not doing the right thing. You don't have a schus to have the land unless you are practicing Torah mitzvahs.
It's a conditional giving. It's a conditional
Right.
giving.
It's a conditional. That's how we'll explain it now. But it's much deeper than that. Let's try to understand
Well,
it even
the
greater.
lamb is holy, so how can you?
Well, we're going to get there.
Exactly.
But this is on the surface.
Exactly.
On the surface, it's a conditional.
Exactly. This is a shmooze from Rav Moshe Shapiro. At least the next part. Rav Moshe Shapiro explains as follows. In the pasuk that we read, it describes Eretz Yisrael as Eretz Canaan. Eretz Canaan, right?
Yeah.
Eretz Canaan.
Big difference.
Eretz Yisrael, Eretz Canaan, right? And we know that Eretz Yisrael is when you call the land a name, you're describing its essence. We know you call
Baker.
you call a baby a name. That becomes the essence of their personality. Call a land a name, it's essence of what the land is. So on the simple level, maybe we'll go a little bit deeper, but on the simple level, Eretz Yisrael is called Eretz Yisrael because in essence it's a land of Yisrael. Eretz Yisrael is not a land if it's not Yisrael. If we're Yisrael, it's a land. Eretz Yisrael, the land of Klal Yisrael, when we're Yisrael. So what's Eretz Canaan? The land of Canaan? So he says something which is neuros. Listen to this. The Navi in Hosea, in Hosea, explains, it really comes from the Gemara Pesachim. It says it says a pasuk. The pasuk is Kenan biyadai moznei mirma, which means the Marikra explains it. He says Kenan biyadai means a soicher, a merchant. Kenan is a merchant, right?
Yeah.
Kenan biyado is kisocher zeh sha'oihev lashek es bnei adam moznei mirma. He's saying that the Bnei Yisrael became like merchants who like to cheat people. Kenan biyada moznei mirma, with scales or weights of trickery. Kenan, a merchant, biyada moznei mirma, false weights, weights of trickery. So he says, you see from there that the word Kenan means a sleicher, a merchant. That's the Gemara in Psachim that says, you know the story when Yehuda went, right? He was sort of like excommunicated, and he went to, he married Tamar, and then he married the Ashes. He married he met this Isha Dulami, right? And he went there, and it says over there that Vayar Sham Yehuda Bas Ish Knani, right? The daughter of the Ish Knani, right?
The merchant.
So the Gemara asks, what's Kanani? What's Kanani? Are you going to say that it means somebody from Canaan? It can't be. Hashem told Avram, right, don't make sure not to take a Kanani for Yitzchak, and told Yitzchak, make sure not to take a Kanani for Yaakov. So Yehuda's going to go and take a Kanani? It doesn't make sense. So the Gemara says that Shimon Lakish says Gavra Tagra, a merchant, a businessman. Dechsiv Kenan biyado, let's say Mirma, Moznei Mirma. So you see from the Gemara that the word Kenan refers to a merchant. Now what's a soicher? What's the word soicher? So Rav Moshe says that it's miloshen schor, which is really an Aramaic word. But he says that it has the same shorish. And schor is like what you tell the Nazir. You tell the Nazir who can't drink wine, right? The fellow that made a promise not to drink wine. So you tell him that l'karmelcha loy sikra. Go around, schor, go around the vineyard. Don't go through the vineyard, because if you go through the vineyard, you might take a grape by accident and eat it. So instead, schor, walk around the vineyard. L'karmelcha loy sikra. So the lashon of soicher comes from the same shorish as a circle. Now, do you know why that's true? So if you know a little bit of economics, you know why it's true. In order for a socher to make money,
Gotta do the rounds.
what has he got to do? Not that he's got to go around.
He's got to do the circuit.
That maybe
Make a profit.
How do you make a profit?
By buying cheap and selling high.
Exactly.
Yeah.
How do you do that in the old times?
In the old times,
But you didn't have
straight to the
access to the
farmer.
Nikkei?
You go straight to the farmer and buy the meskora and then sell it in Jerusalem.
Exactly. Look at the
Yeah.
above Mitzvah, right? You take stuff from one place, you travel to a different place, you sell it,
Right there for high.
right? But you can't stay there. Because if you stay there, you'll have to now buy your food for high too.
Yeah.
So how do you make money? You come back.
Of course.
You come back home, and you
Do the same.
reap your profit.
Same shtickle all the
And
time.
you continue and continue going. That's a soicher. A soicher goes to one place and is forced to come back. And he explains beautifully the pasuk, Hoysa ka'aniya soicher. In Eshes Chayil we describe the wife as Hoysa, she was ka'aniya soicher, like a merchant goes to sea. Why is a wife described as a soicher? So he explains that a woman is tied to the home. Whenever a woman, sometimes she has to go out, but she's only going out in order to be able to reestablish the home, in order to build the home properly. So sometimes she has to go out, but she's always tied back to the home. That's the way it's supposed to be. That's the praise of the Eshes Chayil. Ha'isa ka'aniya soicher. She's like a soicher because she's always tied back to the home, because everything she does has to be for the benefit of the home.
For the family.
That's the family, yeah. The bias. Ishtoi is called in Lashon Gemara Beisai. Right? Beisai. It's her home. She's tied. Her essence is tied back into the home. So even if she has to go back, it always has to come back to the shorish. That's the lashon of Eretz Canaan. Because Eretz Canaan, the land of Canaan, the essence of Eretz Yisrael, is to bring all of the parts, all of the Kedusha back together. It's to bring everything back together. Let's explain. Eretz Yisrael is not just a place where we do holy things. Have you boys learned in Eretz Yisrael, any of you? No, not yet.
They're going. This is mine.
Okay.
This is mine, some of them.
Those of us who have been zoicha to learn the Torah of Eretz Yisrael know, without having to explain, and it's a little bit hard to explain, for those of us who have been zoicha to go on repeated visits, also don't have to explain this. It's not a place where you go and learn. It's not a place where you go in order to experience Kedusha. It's not a place where it's conducive for doing good things. That's maybe what it appears. It itself has a personality of Kedusha. It itself, the land itself, is full of spirituality.
It's all energy. For sure.
It's not the new Meadowlands Coliseum where they're going to be having in it the Siyum Hashas next year. That's a great thing. It's a great big place to do a nice thing inside. Eretz Yisrael is itself its own personality, and it has within it such a I don't know how to explain it. The only way to say it is it's such a personality that it draws us close to it. Let me explain. The chinuch, when it's explaining the mitzvah of Meiser Behema. What's Meiser Behema? Meiser Behema is that a person has 10 animals, and
they gave birth. 10
right?
gave birth.
Babies that come out of the thing, and you have to point to number 10, and you have to bring it up to Yerushalayim. So it explains the idea of Meiser Behema, and with it also the idea of Meiser Sheni. The chinuch is known to explain the reason of mitzvahs, even though it's not the essence of mitzvahs is a tzivui from Hashem, but he explains the tam, the taste of the mitzvah, how it can make sense to us. And he says as follows, it's beautiful. He says that the Rabbanan Shalom chose Klal Yisrael to be oiskim b'Torah of mitzvahs, to occupy ourselves with his laws, his study, with Yiras Shamayim, to know him. And with his chokhmah, he attracted us to Yerushalayim. Why? L'man yilmedu yikhu musar. Because when you go to Yerushalayim, you're going to take musar. Ki yodea Elokim. Because the Rabbanan Shalom knows. Sirov bnei adam nimshachim achar hachomer. Because most people live in the physical world and have physical desires and physical needs that they have to tend to. And they don't put their lives and souls into toiling in Torah, Al Kain Sibev, so he gave us a reason. He brought us to a place that we should all know his Torah. Shein Sofek, he says it's without a doubt that every person, and listen to the chap here, he says every person who comes to Yerushalayim, that he has to come to Yerushalayim in order to eat. So he's going to have some sort of parnas over there. He's a rich guy, he's going to have to bring a lot of Meiser Sheni and a lot of Meiser Behema to Yerushalayim. So he's going to have apartment there. He's going to have an apartment there. Right? But he's got his business in Chutz La'aretz, so he'll go back to his business. But he's going to have something there. And then he's going to have somebody manage his property there, his sheep, his cattle, all of that wealth. It could be 10% of his wealth. He's going to have it there. So he says he's going to send his son to Yerushalayim. And his son will be attracted by the glory of Yerushalayim, the Asek and the Torah Sham. And he says that he's going to, it's an incredible thing. He says that you're going to have at least one person from each family that's going to be learned in Torah, that's going to be living in Yerushalayim. And he says that it's not enough just to have one person in the town, the rabbi, who's learned and who's giving Musar and who's teaching Torah, because the people won't listen to him. So the Rabbanan Shalom created a mitzvah. Here's what it says. So the Rabbanan Shalom created a mitzvah of Meiser Sheni and of Meiser Behema in order to create the need for at least one person in each family to have to go and spend a lot of time in Yerushalayim and live where at least a chelik of his possessions are. And that person will be influenced by the ruchnias and the hashpos HaTorah of Yerushalayim, and he'll come back to the rest of the family, and he'll ensure that everybody stays al pi derech HaTorah. And in the chinuch's description of how Yerushalayim does that, the chinuch explains that it's the air. Right, Avira de Ara Machkim, the Gemara says that it's the air of Eretz Yisrael. Yeah. It's not just a saying that makes you smart, literally, right? It's not just a saying. The land of Eretz Yisrael has its own personality, and when we come to it, we become attracted, we become attached to it. Let's go further. The pasuk in this week's parsha says, "Abei tavdum naskol makamis shar avdu shamagoyim." You have to destroy all the places where they served the Avodah Zarah in Eretz Yisrael. Rashi quotes the Gemara in Avodah Zarah, Abed v'achar kach tabdun. You have to destroy and then destroy again. What does that mean? That not only mikan, the Gemara says, lo oiker avodah zarah, if a person is uprooting an avodah zarah, not only are you uprooting the avodah zarah itself, but you have to be mesharish achreha. You have to take out even the land. Why do you have to take out the ground?
Tummy.
But why do you have to take out the ground? So it's tummy. What do you mean? It's just a vessel holding kedusha. So now we used to hold tumas, and now it'll hold kedusha.
It's like a blemish on the skin. It has to heal.
Yeah.
It has to go away.
The Svarim HaKadoshim put it like this, and I think by explaining it this way, we'll all understand. The Svarim explain that there's really three categories of existence in this world. There's makom, place. There's man, time, and there's nefesh, people. Right? There's three spheres of the way that the world works. There's three angles: the person, the place, and the time. That's how the world operates, according to these three angles. And the Svarim say that the Kedusha, the Ruchnius, the Chelek Elokai Mimal that exists in the Nefesh is in the Nishmas Yisrael. Is in Yisrael. The Chelek Elokai that exists in Zman is Shabbos. The Chelek Elokai Mimal that exists in Eretz Yisrael that exists in Makom, it exists in Eretz Yisrael and Yerushalayim, and further the Makom HaMikdash, and further the Makom Kodesh HaKadoshim. And for the benefit of the seed boys, I'll say something over which I like to say, and that is that you have to understand that Eretz Yisrael and Yerushalayim and the Makom HaMikdash, when we say that it has a Chelek Elokai Mimal, we're talking about a person. Just think of it as a person. Just like you and me. A person. We have our guf, we know, we can relate to it because it's ourselves. And we have our neshama tahira, we have our ruchnius, our pnimi, our Hashem inside of us. We have that. And we know that the Chelek HaNeshama it's something which transcends our physical existence. It exists above us. It exists not inside the geshem of our guf. Right? It exists on a deep level. And similarly, it's the same thing with the makom. It's the same thing. Eretz Yisrael exists within a neshama. It has a neshama. It's actually called Lev Yerushalayim. Lev Yerushalayim. It's called Lev Yerushalayim. And the Gemara says in Bava Basra that the Aron in the base Kodesh HaKadoshim, which is exactly the point where the neshama is in its highest intensity in this world, in the base Kodesh HaKadoshim is loy toifes es mekomer. The Aron, if you make the measurements inside the base Kodesh HaKadoshim, the Aron doesn't fit because the poles take up the entire 10 amos. So where's the makom Aron? So the Gemara says the Aron didn't take up any space. So you read the Gemara, okay, there was another nace in the base HaMikdash. Yeah. But if you understand it properly, the Makom Aaron was the most intense, is the most intense Makom of spirituality in this world. So it can't exist inside physical confines. It can't exist in a physical place. Because that's a Makom which transcends Makom. It's interesting. read the Navi. Read the Navi. Every Navi, Kemat, that we read, talks about Yerushalayim as a person. Right? Read them. This week we're going to read Aniya, Soyara, Loi, Nuchama. Right? A Yerushalayim is like an Aniya. Right? An Aniya, a poor person, that her heart is Soyar, Miroi, Vatsaras, it's troubling. Loi Nuchama, there's nobody to console. Who? Who are we talking about? We're not talking about us. We're talking about Yerushalayim. Eicha Yoshva Badad. Eicha Yoshva Badad. Who sits alone? We sit alone?
Yerushalayim sits alone.
Hayir.
A widow.
Haisa Ka'almana. She was like an almana. Dabru Alev Yerushalayim. Right? But Taimer Tzion, she said, Tzion says, Azavani Hashem. Yerushalayim's a person. But it's not a person. We have to think of it like a person because we only think that people talk, right? So only people are alive. So therefore, we have to say Yerushalayim's a person in order to understand it correctly. But it's not what it means. Yerushalayim's not a man called Yerushalayim. I'm so sorry. I should have said it's not a man, Yerushalayim. Yerushalayim is a makom which has personality called Yerushalayim. And Yerushalayim sits alone. And Yerushalayim is Aniya, Soyara, Loi Nuchama. We have to know this is Eretz Yisrael. This is the personality called Eretz Yisrael. And to understand the Malbim properly, Eretz Yisrael is only Eretz Yisrael. It's the same Yisrael as Bnei Yisrael. It's Eretz Yisrael. Now Yisrael just means Sarisayim Elokim v'Menashim v'Tucha. You're high. It's a higher level than this world. It's a level of Malach. That's what Yisrael means. Eretz Yisrael, it's a land which is elevated because of the neshama inside of it. Yeah. When that was spoiled, Abei Tabdun as kol mekamas asher avdu sham al goyim. That's not that. There's no chelek. That's not a chelek of Eretz Yisrael anymore. That's not a chelek that we're going to Yashin. To understand the Malbim, the pshat is, it's only when we do the right thing, only when we follow the chukim of the Rabbanu Shalom, only when we follow Torah mitzvahs and learn about Yerushalayim and do tshuva, only when we work on our relationships with the Rabbanu Shalom, that's when Eretz Yisrael becomes alive. I could give you the whole speech about the Medina, but I'll save you. I'll save you the speech. Let's appreciate it. When we go to Eretz Yisrael, you walk off the plane in Ben Gurion, it's like an unbelievable experience. It's an unbelievable experience. It's an experience of Bnei Yisrael, who represent the Elokis of Nefesh, meets the Elokis, the Eretz Yisrael, the Elokis, the godliness of Mokum. Eretz Yisrael, Bnei Yisrael on Shabbos is the most incredible experience. And that's the idea. But the Kedusha only comes because we're doing the right thing. There's a proclamation before we enter the land. If you do the right thing, then Eretz Yisrael is Eretz Yisrael. If you do the wrong thing, then it's not Eretz Yisrael anymore. Abei Tabdun is Kol HaMekamas. we should be zoicher to feel and to know. We went through the 3 weeks of Pranis and Tisha B'Av, to know how much we lost, but to look forward now to what the Navi says, that the Rabbanu Shalom is going to decorate Yerushalayim with all the jewelry and the diamonds and whatever the Navi says here in the Torah. There's going to be a day where Klal Yisrael is yet again going to come back to Eretz Yisrael. That's our Nechama. But that needs to be misoyer us to tshuva. It's only when we do the right thing. And when we do the right thing, then the Rabbi Shalom will say, Gam eila tishkachachna, even if a mother forgets her little baby, Anochi lo yeshkachech. The Rabbi Shalom should be kind to us and see that we want to come back. We want Yerushalayim. We want Hashros HaShechina. We want the relationship with Him. And He should give us Mashiach Tzidkenu with the building of the Beis Hamikdash. Ashlishi b'meher v'yameinu. Amen.